I have an old sideboard or buffet out in the shop begging for my attention, and this morning I'm going to work on it. So join me as I do that and enjoy. You'll have to excuse how it looks in here. Right now we have a large lawnmower parked in here, but I think I can manage to get this furniture out without moving it. So I kind of have in mind to maybe use this buffet in one of the cottages. It's fairly big, so I'll definitely have to measure, make sure it fits my wall space where I plan to put it. And it's in pretty decent shape. I plan to paint it. I'm pretty sure some of you guys are going to say don't paint it, but that's what I plan to do with it today. As you can see, this piece isn't terrible looking, but there is some of that veneer missing. And instead of trying to, work with that as far as just taking it all off, or I think it'll just be easier to paint it. I'm going to have too much variation if I try to just, strip the finish and go with something natural. I think that would be really pretty too, but it's just easier at this point to paint it. And what I have in mind is to paint it black and distress the edges. Probably use the same hardware. It's so pretty. Try to shine it up a bit. First thing, of course, is just giving it a good thorough cleaning, and then I'll probably use my crud cutter to go over it to kind of dull up the surface, making sure my paint will stick to it. I consider myself really lucky to have a good air system here on our property that I can easily, spray paint with. The system is in our white shop, our workshop, and it's basically just an air compressor that, pumps air into a large tank. And then from that tank, of course, I can get my air to paint with. Let me talk just a bit about this paint sprayer. Absolutely love it. Definitely would recommend it. I have a link down below in my description box for this exact sprayer in case you're looking for one like this. Here I'm just putting it together. After I had used it last, I took it all apart and cleaned every little part, which is really, really important. I can get, up to 5 years on these sprayers. Like, I use them a lot and I can get a lot out of them. Even longer than that, but of course the more clean you keep them, the better they're going to run for you. That's really important. I get a lot of questions about the consistency of the paint that I use, to run through my sprayer, and I of course add some water to it, and I don't really have a certain recipe to go by. I just make so it's the consistency of, I don't know, maybe buttermilk, a little thicker. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can actually soon tell once you're using it whether you need to thin it down a bit more, like it'll come out too slow if it's too thick, of course. So as I started coming into this section with my paint, I thought how pretty it would look to put one of these medallions onto the top drawer. So I think I'm going to do that. I think it'll look okay, and I'll trust that my hot glue will hold it in place. Normally I would use like an E6000 glue, but I'm kind of in a hurry. I want to get this thing painted, so I'm going to try the hot glue. And if you want a hot glue gun like this that's cordless and just so easy to use, I'll put the link down below in the description box, but we really like this glue gun for when we glue boxes and stuff for shipping, but I also use it for some crafts and stuff, obviously. I was gone for a few hours running some errands, and when I came back my little medallion had fallen off. So I guess I'll just have to re-glue it using my E6000 glue. Thankfully it's not broken. And it's really, really hot out here, like we're in the 90s and sunshine, so I'm kind of wondering if that might have made it fall off, or maybe it would have fell off anyway, but I'm thinking the E6000 should work. I want to distress the edges on this piece, and here I'm using a damp cloth to do it versus sandpaper. I've noticed already on black pieces, especially using sandpaper, of course, you know, you're able to get your edges to show through, but then any other area that you accidentally kind of brush against, it'll scratch it up. Again, really noticeable on black. And I feel like I have more control with using a wet rag like this. John helped me carry this piece in so I can finish it here in my kitchen. Basically just put the hardware on and then take pictures of it. At one point I thought I'd definitely use Annie Sloan clear wax to give it a top coat, but then I remembered before when I had use that on a dark piece of furniture like this. You could see kind of every streak of wax, and I really don't want to ruin it. I think it looks so good the way it is, so I'm not going to risk it unless I change my mind, but at this point I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And I feel like some wood just takes paint better than others, and I think this really is on here to stay. Like, it seems that way, and even if it chips off, you know, here and there over the years, I think it'll just fit to the look, being that I distressed the edges anyway. Here I'm polishing up the hardware. Started out by using a chrome cleaner. I think the thing that worked the best was just using my stainless steel tarball and just scrubbing until, you know, that tarnish was off. So a few things I want to do before I'm finished with the piece. First of all, the drawer that is inside here, I want to line that with a pretty wallpaper. And my medallion here in the center, I love the look of it, but it really bothers me that it's not distressed. And of course, if I were to rub this paint off, of course I would have white showing through. So what I'm going to do is actually use some brown paint and try to just make it look like it's distressed. Some of the little characters on here, hopefully I won't mess it up. And then this door here needs a latch, like the part that usually this part would snap into is missing, and I just used this box here before I had my knob to open it with, but definitely want to replace that. But other than that, I think I'm finished then. It really bothers me that this drawer does have a chip out of it. It really would be a nice piece if it wasn't for that. I mean, there's still, you know, of course, some veneer here that's, you know, coming off. You have that too, but this really probably bothers me most, but it's okay. It still looks pretty good, I think. So what I have here is just a little bit of brown paint from Walmart. I only need a few drops, so I'll just put it on my napkin here. Remeasured my wall space in one of the cottages where I thought maybe I could put this piece, and sadly I think it's too big, so I'll probably end up selling it. I've talked about this before, how I don't really have my booth in the antique mall anymore, but I have access to it. It's not really my booth at this point, but I'm allowed to, you know, put furniture in there. And Katie May, the girl that now has the booth, sent me some pictures the other day of how it's looking. I can tell she takes time to collect all kinds of different things, and then she also repurposes items. So maybe this black piece will end up in there. Not quite sure at this point. It does take up a lot of space, so I have to talk to her about it. As always, I hope your day is going great. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.